Far-Flung Tin Can, we are bridging the gap between two diverse worlds, the Christian home and the mission field, through missions awareness, missions engagement, and worship in everything. We are traveling the world to the most remote places on the planet to find those who have laid down everything to say yes to God. And whoever said missions can't be fun? God is calling. Will you take the call? We're in the middle of our first trip to Mozambique. Celia Mendez is a missionary to Gumbani village. The community church had an all-night prayer vigil. For 12 hours, we've been meeting, singing, praying, and then we headed to the ocean and had a sunrise baptism. And now it's early in the morning and we are ready to go to bed.
They're very happy.
It's too early for that.
We are here, we are not known. Nobody knows us. But if we are known in heaven, that's what it counts. Mm-hmm. And I tell them that's what I want for my life. And I share with them, that's what I want to impart on them, to be known in heaven.
When we were watching the Together film, and so we were talking about being known in heaven. And that conversation just reminded me of this picture that I had in 2009 that I carry as something really important for me because of the impact it had on me. After a week of fasting and prayer, I had this visitation where I saw Jesus taking me by the hand and walking me to this new paved road. And as we came onto this road, I looked and I saw a vast expanse. And I thought I was looking at flowers. I thought it was a field of flowers, sunflowers. And I didn't think much of it, except that it was really beautiful. And when we turned to the left, the road was cut. It was a brand new road, but it was cut. And in the middle it was like a space full of thorns. And the road continued on the other side. But Jesus made a motion as if he was going to walk on the thorns. And then I let go of his hand because I could not imagine myself stepping on those thorns. But he did not push me to go with him. He just walked on the thorns. And as I saw the thorns getting through his feet, I started crying because I was like, no, 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 Jesus, no. Because I somehow felt that he was doing that for me, but I was supposed to do it. So before even I could deal with my emotions, I saw myself with Jesus over on the other side. And I didn't know how I got there because I never felt the pain of the thorns.
And when I get over on the other side, I know that place was called Valley of Suffering. And before I know it, we are flying over what I thought previously was a vast expanse of a sunflower field. Like, I thought it was just a field of sunflowers. And when Jesus took me by the hand, flying over the sunflowers, when I looked down, I saw as if, I looked down and I was like, whoa, Jesus, they're not sunflowers, they're people. Because then I saw the people looking up. I said, oh, they're not sunflowers, they're people. And he said, yes, they are. There are people that went through the valley of suffering. I was like, wow, I was like so blown away. And Jesus said, they're not known on the earth, they're known in heaven. And I was like, but are these people still alive on the earth or they've gone to heaven? And Jesus said, they're in the earth, but they're not known.
So I carry this message ever since throughout my life, especially the desire to be known in heaven, not so much on the earth. But what it really matters to me now, it is if I'm known in heaven through what I do on the earth, not titles or anything that people go after on this earth, because what it really counts, it is if we are known in heaven. We are heading towards Kruger Park to catch some lions, some leopards, some cheetahs. Yeah.
We got you something. We really want you to fully
Embrace
take
it.
And we want you to get the full experience.
He's so nervous. Look
Have an
at his
open
face.
heart.
Open mind.
You can just wear it for a little bit. No.
Yes.
Travis,
Yes,
it's a giraffe.
You knew how much this cost. No. Giraffe!
There's a giraffe.
Behind you, behind you.
Elephants live to about 65 years old. And typically the cause of death is their teeth get worn down so far that they actually starve to death because they only have 6 sets of replacements. I learned that from our safari guide.
There's a few right here. If they flap their ears, does that mean they're letting us know? No, he's just I thought that's what Lynn said. No, yesterday.
You're always trying to punch someone.
Like I'm an idiot. Stop acting like that's an idiotic question to ask. That's not an idiotic question.
Chris, we got to safari. Chris ran to the bathroom. I guess it wasn't enough, so we're about 30, 40 minutes into it.
No.
And we're too far from a restroom, so he just snuck off illegally into the Kruger Park bush.
We spent 2 full days safaring. As far as predators go, we had 2 instances where we barely got to see lions. Then Chris gets out of the vehicle and he goes into the woods and we hear like this. And we're like, what is that? And our guy gets up, he goes, that's a hyena.
As he's using the restroom, we hear this hyena like 1 kilometer away
Chris literally flew back, pants down, to the Jeep.
That was the highlight of our day. Highlight of my day.
So we finished up the safari. I booked an Airbnb house that was just on the other side of Crocodile River. And it's like right outside the park. I miscalculated a 30-minute drive.
It's windy back here. Ow, your hair with me.
I know, her hair. We're
Your
currently
hair back and forth.
in the middle of a hurricane.
What's going on?
It's windy.
She ain't even scared.
We are home. Oh my God, there's zebras everywhere.
We just saw a flock of zebras.
Let's go get them.
He's about to go. You ain't gonna live long, son, I tell you.
Come on, go.
Don't fall. He's an idiot and he's gonna die.
I think that's people scared him up there.
We're doing home visits now. It's one of the ways that we nurture the church. Here in this culture, it's very important to receive visits, to be visited. And so people feel honored and valued when we do that. So it is one of the ways that we use to nurture the church, to encourage them and pray for them in their houses. And usually we have great responses. Right now we are visiting this lady that had a baby. And when they have a baby, they do not leave the house with the baby until they do a ceremony. And so she has not done it yet. So she has not been to church since she had the baby. So we're visiting her now. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yes, Mama.
Vai arranjar lenha.
Sim, mas há de voltar porque ela disse que não pode entrar lá no muro sozinha.
Ok.
The mother went to get wood to cook. And so she left the baby. It's 3 weeks old. Quantos anos tem?
Gosto porque quando vir uma pessoa da igreja chegar a fazer a oração para ele ou para ela é muito importante. Como pessoa da igreja de Deus, outras igrejas não conseguem andar visitar a pessoa quando tem problema, tem preocupação, mas eu tento falar com a pessoa quando tem problema no seu coração. Eu também não estou perfeito, tenho os meus problemas, mas quando chega a pessoa a chorar, eu tento falar com ele, falar com ela, para relaxar o coração dele. Às vezes à noite, chega a pessoa a bater a porta, está doente, eu saio à noite.
Crow, there's crows they're least afraid about, but crow's smartest bird in the world, makes the bald eagle look like an idiot. They're so smart. A crow can actually, there's like an experiment, you'll just have to YouTube it, YouTube crows.
No, you're here to
tell us.
guide us. Don't give information, just say YouTube it. Yeah.
YouTube.
That ain't how
You're gonna
Steve Irwin
educate.
made it.
Well, it's not the information.
Educate.
This is National
You're
Geographic.
Mr. National Geographic.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
remember the facts.
I don't remember. I remember what they
did
did.
a 9-step puzzle.
Huh?
You remember?
Here, she
A
can help me.
9-step
Okay, see, this
My
is why
fiance.
he's
They
marrying
did
her.
a 9-step puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
crows.
they start on one end to get their food.
I
Come
played
out.
a crow
They
in chess once. It beat me.
take a
See,
little
she
piece
comes out
over
with the
here.
actual facts and then he color codes it. Tell us the fact.
So they can do 9-step puzzle. I think they're top 5 smartest animals,
Uh-huh.
not just birds.
Not just birds,
They're
yeah.
really smart.
They're super smart.
Who is he?
My fiance, soon to be wife, best friend, companion, my cherished lover.
Okay, so how has it been having her on the team rather than before when she was not on the team?
For me, it's been really awesome because I would definitely miss her being here, super far away. So it makes it easier, and And I'm honestly just super thankful that she has the opportunity to be a part of something that I'm super invested in.
Oh, totally. Something I was always looking for in someone. My partner. What did you say? Best friend, life companion, church lover. So, yeah. Okay, so my first thought of her is that her smile. She's amazing. She's just so full of joy. She's always laughing, always joking. So happy and just like so thankful in everything and just always giving glory to God. And it's so special to see that. And she's done so much here, just organizing everything. She's so passionate about every piece that she's contributed to, the kids here. I love her garden. She's planted this huge garden. They have kale and different spinach and what is it called? Moringa. And they do a lot with that. It has a lot of nutrients in it, which I love. Like I was saying too, I feel like she's always giving glory to God. And so they were so appreciative of her, but then also bringing it back to Jesus. Every time they're always like, it was really cool. They just feel so blessed. It's really cool to see that they're giving back too. They're here working because this place offered so much opportunity. They want to keep that going, which is also really neat because then it's sustainable. Then they can grow too that way, which is the goal, I think, should always be the goal with missions, is having that sustainability aspect.
She has a servant's heart.
Yeah.
I can struggle with that, so I appreciate it when other people actually have it.
I don't think you're that bad.
I'm not that bad.
No.
I'm just hard on myself.
You're hard on yourself.
I don't even want to tell you.
Look at Mars!
Yeah, so what you're looking here behind me is basically what Travis has been doing on the trip. That's his contribution to the documentary. You know, it's being in his cell phone. And, well, that's it. Yeah.
Skyview, downloading now.
Which planets are those?
That is Mars.
Oh, it's written right here?
Yeah. That's Jupiter.
How can we see Jupiter? So
That
Venus
over
must be-
there, we can see Saturn, but we can't see Uranus. But we can see Jupiter.
Tudo tá lá atrás que a gente não tá vendo. E Marte. E aquele é... Você precisa de um copo? Você precisa?
Because he dropped one glass.
Você...
I think the one way to spread light in the darkest places is being light yourself.
Light comes to an area and there's no more darkness.
And as children of the light, which is what the word says, we are to illuminate that.
To be light, we need to be connected to the source.
He's the source to that light, and when we're connected with God and we're communing with Him day in and day out.
Being connected to Jesus all the time.
It's really about being present with God and present with our neighbor. That's bringing the light.
We can shine bright.
That light shines and darkness cannot stand.
And I don't mean like about being saved, because many people are saved, but maybe they're not shining as bright as they could shine.
Celia went to a place out of her comfort zone, out of everything she knew, out of her own continent, to a place that was dark, that needed light.
Still one of the poorest nations on the planet. So if you're not careful, you can just be overwhelmed by the extraordinary poverty.
And that just breaks our hearts. We try to share Jesus here, not by dragging people to church. We just are what we are. We just connected to Jesus through prayer and fasting.
So we're really always worshiping. That's bringing the light. And then we're stopping for the one in front of us and really seeing the one. So it's not just the multitude, but it's seeing the one in front of us. It's saying, hey, I want to see you. I want to know you. I want to see the light and love of God shining out of you.
And we pray for people in this community, in the four corners of the community.
It says we carry the power and presence of God individually into a village, into a little place under a tree, and we just keep going.
It's like the vision that Celia had about the sunflowers that in a field that nobody knew about. She's slowly just stumbling upon all these people that need Christ and that are hungry for something, and she's bringing light literally to each little thatch house that she goes to. She's bringing light to each of them.
The picture I had of the sunflowers was in 2009. Little did I know that I could go through something so horrible in my own life. In 2013, that happened. And the amazing thing is, in the US, someone was receiving this amazing song from God that really captures the picture He'd given me a few years earlier. And it was in the exact year when I was going through an extreme, a deep valley of suffering. And when I listened to that song in 2016, I couldn't believe my ears. I was like, what? This was as if that song was written for that vision, but we had not known each other.
I was currently living in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was in the house and just got this random idea about sunflowers.
Because I don't know the meaning of it, why it had to be sunflower that I saw.
And I realized that sunflowers have something very special about them, that they literally face in the direction of the sun.
I said, well, to this day, I don't know why sunflowers. I never put together, I never had like an insight for why. And then Alyssa said,
Sunflowers, like big fields, and especially you can notice they always follow the sun. They face the turn as the sun goes.
I just let it sit for a while, and that for a while became like 2.5 years, until a couple months ago I went to dinner and Kyle was sharing the footage from the trip to Africa, and then he shared the story about Miss Celia talking about sunflowers, and I literally stopped and I was like, wait a minute, I have a song about sunflowers.
Jonathan, the one that writes the music for Far-Flung, was receiving this song from God, even not knowing what the vision that God had given me a few years earlier.
It was just a field of sunflowers. And when Jesus took me by the hand, flying over the sunflowers, I looked down and I was like, whoa, Jesus, they're not sunflowers, they're people. Because then I saw like people looking up. I said, oh, they're not sunflowers, they're people. And he said, yes, they are. There are people that went through the valley of suffering. But what I sensed in my spirit, that those were people like Mama, like people that love the Lord deeply in their hearts, and they pray quietly in an African hut, like a grass hut like Mama did and does. So nobody knows them, nobody knows about them, but they're highly known in heaven. And I just imagine these people, when they actually go to leave the physical realm and step into the spiritual realm, the other side, how they're going to be received in heaven. Because here, they go to bed without eating, empty bellies, and much suffering, like I told you. Mama was like, she said, sometimes I feel like God is not answering, He's not listening to my prayer. And I'm like, no, He is. He is. He's listening. He's listening. He's listening. So people like her that suffers much and maybe forgotten, may go to bed with an empty belly, but they are so highly known.
It was incredible because something that God planted in, in your spirit a long time ago that you kept to yourself because you were kind of embarrassed from it. Turns out that somebody was going through the same thing in another country about the same topic, sunflowers, focusing and following the sun.
You know what it speaks to me? Is that we need to be focused to where the sun is. There we go. 7 years later, I know what it means.
Sunflowers were created just to watch the sun. They were created just to follow.
Far-Flung Tin Can is spreading the gospel and helping others in the most remote places on earth. Our work in Mozambique is ongoing and you can be a part. You can apply to join us on our monthly Far-Flung trips, or you can help send us to far-flung places by giving. We believe our children should be thinking about the Great Commission. Be sure to purchase Adventures with Far-Flung, Celia's Sunflowers, based around the real-life ministry in this episode.